Hey, it's Maritza, and I want to welcome you to day one of the Dreams to Reality video training series. Today is very important because it's all about erasing your personal history. We have all said at one time or another, or we've heard people say, but I can't change the past. It's true. This really bad, really negative thing happened to me. One of the best things you can do for yourself is to get rid of your personal history. This can be truly liberating because bad or unpleasant things may have happened in your past, but they only have the meaning that you give them. They cannot hold anything over you. They cannot hold you back from the life that you want unless you allow them to. Because what is reality, anyways? Something that is true is something that you've thought over and over and over again so many times that you make it true for you. One of my favorite stories that you've probably heard is about Roger Bannister, the man who beat the 4 minutes for running a mile. People at the time were stuck in the reality of what man could accomplish physically, that people couldn't break this barrier. And it turned out to be a completely psychological barrier. After he broke the 4-minute mile, people did it over and over again. It's because their beliefs had changed about what was possible. And everyone has a past and stories that we hold on to, but these hold us back. When we cling to these stories and we blame them for our current situation, basically you're disempowering yourself. You're becoming a victim to circumstance and to the outside world. It's kind of like having your foot tied to the ground. You're placing limitations on yourself. And why would you want to do that? My mom, one of my greatest gurus now, used to tell us a story about elephants when we were growing up. And in Asia, they were tied by a foot when they were little to a stake in the ground. And as the elephant grew, it believed that it was limited to the circumference of the rope around its leg that was tied to the stake in the ground. So it couldn't go any further than that. Even though the elephant grew to such a huge size that it could easily take the stake out of the ground and run away with the rope, it wouldn't. And the most incredible part is that they would take the rope off of the leg of the elephant, and the elephant would still not go further than the circumference of the rope where it had always gone. Talk about not getting out of your comfort zone. If you find yourself automatically telling those same old stories, just stop where you are and change your focus to something else. No guilt, no judgment, and be happy that you caught it. Awareness is the beginning of all change. And so today I want to share with you a ritual, a very powerful ritual I created for myself, and I would like to ask for you to do it too. I sometimes write a short list of things that I really am ready and willing to release in myself, self-doubts, fears, limiting beliefs. I write these down on a piece of paper. They can be habits, anything. And think briefly about them, about the things that having these limiting beliefs, having these negative habits in my life have cost me in terms of opportunities, in terms of new friends, in terms of business, in terms of wonderful experiences that I missed out on, in terms of love, whatever it is. And then I cut those things into little strips. Each habit or limiting belief gets put on its own little strip of paper. And I go out into nature with all of my limiting beliefs, all of my negative habits and fears that I want to get rid of. And I will release them into nature. I'll make them into a small, tiny little ball. And I use biodegradable paper, and very small strips of paper, but I'll release it. And I've done this in a lot of different places. I love doing spiritual travel. I did this on a little fishing boat in the Nile. I did it in Cambodia. I did it in Machu Picchu. But it doesn't matter where you do it. It just matters that you do it. So today I would like for you to write down a short list of things you are ready to get rid of, things that have been holding you back in your life, and then cut them up, 1, 2 a piece. Go into nature. And again, if you don't have anywhere that's peaceful in nature, it doesn't matter. Do it wherever you want and put it in your round filing system in the garbage. Just throw them away. And as you're releasing these things, visualize yourself living without this limiting belief, living it without fear and these self-doubts. I'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and leave me a comment. And if you want, you can even put what limiting beliefs you decide to get rid of today. And I will see you tomorrow. Again, if you don't have a peaceful place to let go of these, It doesn't matter. Just do them. If you don't write them down, don't say, oh, I already failed, I'm just not going to do this. Think of them in your head and just visualize. Take 2 minutes and visualize yourself releasing these fears, these limiting beliefs, these self-doubts. This is the day that you can erase your personal history. And if you hear yourself retelling these stories or thinking of these excuses or why you can't, it's okay. That's normal. Don't feel bad about it. Just say, hey, I'm doing it again, and let it go. And I'll see you tomorrow.